Most people have it completely backwards. They think that skipping a single meal is an act of desperation, a one-way ticket to muscle loss, brain fog, and a metabolism so damaged it will never fully recover. Fitness influencers have spent years building an empire on this fear. Eat every 2 to 3 hours, they say. Keep your metabolism fired up. Never let your body go hungry. And billions of people have followed that advice, eating on schedule not because they were hungry, but because they were afraid of what would happen if they stopped. But here is the uncomfortable truth that the science has been quietly revealing for decades. Your body was never designed for constant feeding. The idea that you need to eat 6 times a day to stay healthy is one of the most damaging myths modern nutrition has ever produced. Because right now, as you read this, your body is likely drowning in fuel it never asked for. Your cells are overloaded. Your insulin has been working overtime for years. And deep inside you, an extraordinary biological system, one that won a Nobel Prize, one that took millions of years to perfect, has been switched off, waiting patiently for a moment of silence that never comes. That moment of silence is a 24-hour fast. And what unfolds inside your body during those hours is not a story of deprivation. It is a story of restoration so profound, so precise, so astonishingly intelligent that once you understand it, you will never look at hunger the same way again. Picture your fat cells as locked steel vaults buried deep in the walls of a bank. They are packed with energy, enough stored fuel to power your body for weeks. But there is a heavy padlock on each one, and that padlock is insulin. As long as insulin is circulating in your blood, those vaults stay sealed. The key never arrives. And in modern life, where most people eat from the moment they wake up until the moment they fall asleep, insulin is almost always present. The vaults never open, the energy never flows, and your body keeps demanding more fuel from outside, even as an enormous reserve sits locked away, untouched, growing heavier by the year. When you stop eating, you begin the process of handing your body back its own keys.
The journey begins at hour 4. For most people, this is a familiar and slightly uncomfortable place. Your blood sugar starts to dip. You might feel a low hum of irritability, a slight drift in your concentration, a faint pull toward the kitchen. This is not a medical emergency. This is your body throwing a small tantrum because it is used to being fed on demand. Think of your bloodstream as a 6-lane highway and glucose, sugar, as the constant rush of traffic that has been flowing through it for years without interruption. For the last several hours, your insulin has been working like a traffic controller, redirecting that fuel into your muscle cells, your organs, your liver. What it couldn't use immediately, it packed away, and the primary storage locker for that short-term energy is your liver, in a form called glycogen. Here's the catch. Your liver is not a large battery. It holds approximately 100 grams of energy, roughly the caloric equivalent of a banana and a half. It is a backup generator, not a power plant. And by hour 8, that generator is running low. Your brain, which burns through 20% of your body's total energy, despite making up only 2% of your body weight, starts sending increasingly urgent signals. It wants fuel. It is accustomed to a steady stream of glucose arriving every few hours, and the supply is beginning to thin. Most people never get past this point. The discomfort feels like danger. They reach for a snack, insulin spikes, and the entire biological process you are about to witness gets canceled. The cleaning crew packs up and goes home. The vaults stay locked, and the body resets to its default, sugar-dependent, never quite clean state. But you push past it, and everything changes. Between hours 12 and 16, something extraordinary begins to happen beneath the surface. Your insulin levels, which have been gradually declining since your last meal, drop to their lowest point in days. This is not a crisis. This is a signal, a quiet, powerful signal that ripples through every fat cell in your body. Without insulin holding the door shut, your fat tissue begins to respond. A specialized enzyme called lipase, think of it as a skilled locksmith who has been waiting outside the vault for years, starts breaking down stored body fat into free fatty acids, releasing them into the bloodstream.
Your body has officially begun pulling energy from your reserves. Those steel vaults are finally open. But there is a problem that your biology has already solved. Your brain, for all its remarkable capabilities, cannot burn fat directly. Fat molecules are too large to cross the blood-brain barrier, the tightly controlled gateway that separates your bloodstream from your neural tissue. So your liver steps in and performs one of the most elegant pieces of biochemical engineering in the human body. It takes those fatty acids and converts them into small, highly concentrated molecules called ketones. Beta-hydroxybutyrate, acetoacetate. These are not a compromise fuel. They are not a last resort. They are a superior energy source that your brain and body are exquisitely designed to run on. If glucose is like burning cheap wood, smoky, inefficient, leaving ash behind, then ketones are like clean natural gas. They burn brighter, longer, and with far less cellular waste. Your mitochondria, the microscopic power plants inside every cell in your body, begin switching fuel sources, and something remarkable happens. You may feel it as a sudden settling, a second wind, a quiet sharpening of the mind that you didn't expect. The jitteriness of hour 4 fades. In its place comes something steadier. Your body has stopped being a sugar burner and has become, for the first time in perhaps months or years, a fat-burning machine. This is the metabolic switch. Scientists have studied it extensively, and it is as real as anything in human physiology. It is not a metaphor. It is a measurable, documentable shift in the biochemical machinery of your cells, and you have just crossed it. Now here is where most people's intuition leads them astray. If your body is running low on food, surely it begins breaking down your muscles for fuel. That is what starvation means, right? Muscle wasting, weakness, the slow dismantling of everything you have built. Your biology disagrees, profoundly. As you cross the 16-hour mark, your body doesn't begin cannibalizing your muscle. It triggers one of the most aggressive muscle preservation responses in human physiology. Growth hormone, the same hormone that bodybuilders spent enormous sums trying to artificially elevate, begins surging through your system. In some studies, growth hormone levels during fasting have been shown to rise by as much as 5 times their normal baseline. 5 times, not a modest increase, a flood.
Why would a body that has no incoming food suddenly pump out growth hormone? Because your evolutionary programming is smarter than your fears. Your body knows, at a cellular level, that food is temporarily unavailable, and it understands something your conscious mind often doesn't. A hungry human who loses their muscle is a dead human. In the ancestral environment, your ability to run, to hunt, to climb, to fight, all of it depended on maintaining your lean tissue. So your body wraps your muscles in a biochemical shield and begins burning fat even harder, sparing every ounce of protein in your body for structural integrity. Your nervous system is not slowing down either. The opposite is true. Your body begins releasing norepinephrine, a neurotransmitter and hormone that is chemically related to adrenaline. Not the jittery, scattered kind of stimulation you get from a triple espresso. Something cleaner, more focused. A quiet predatory alertness that your ancient ancestors would have recognized as the feeling of the hunt. Your heart rate increases slightly, your metabolic rate actually rises. You are not wasting away. You are being sharpened. Hunger, it turns out, was never designed to make you weak. It was designed to make you dangerous. The biology here is not subtle. When food is scarce, your body does not enter a state of conservation and slowdown. It enters a state of optimization. It burns hotter, thinks faster, preserves what matters most, and discards what it no longer needs. The reason modern humans never experience this state is not because it doesn't exist. It's because we never stop eating long enough to let it arrive. And then you hit hour 18, and everything you thought you understood about what the body can do gets rewritten. This is where you enter autophagy. The word comes from the Greek, auto meaning self, and phagon meaning to eat, literally self-eating. The name sounds frightening. The reality is one of the most beautiful biological processes ever discovered. Beautiful enough that in 2016, the Japanese cell biologist Yoshinori Ohsumi was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine, specifically for unraveling how it works.
Here is what autophagy actually is. Imagine your cells are like a factory that has been running 24 hours a day for years without a proper shutdown or maintenance period. Inside that factory, machinery breaks down. Components get misfolded, warped, damaged. Toxic byproducts pile up in the corners, misfolded proteins that don't function correctly, broken mitochondria that are too damaged to produce energy efficiently, but keep consuming resources anyway. In a cell that is constantly receiving new raw materials, food, glucose, amino acids, there is never a reason to clean up. The factory is too busy processing inputs to deal with the mess. But now, after 18 hours of silence, something extraordinary activates. specialized structures called autophagomes begin forming inside your cells. Think of them as sophisticated waste management vehicles. They move through the cellular interior, identifying damaged components with remarkable precision, wrapping them up and carrying them to the cell's recycling center, the lysosome, where they are broken down into their fundamental building blocks. Those building blocks, amino acids, fatty acids, sugars, are then reused to build new, functional cellular machinery. Your body is not just burning fat, it is performing a deep cellular renovation. It is tearing out the rotting infrastructure and building something new in its place. Autophagy is your body's most powerful internal defense against the accumulation of damage that over time drives aging, chronic inflammation, neurodegenerative disease, and the early cellular dysfunction that can eventually tip towards something far more serious. This is not fringe science. This is Nobel Prize-winning, peer-reviewed, repeatedly replicated science, and it only switches on when the constant noise of feeding finally goes quiet. You can eat the cleanest diet in the world. You can take every supplement ever invented. But you cannot buy autophagy at a grocery store. You can only earn it by stepping away from the table long enough for your cells to remember that they already know how to heal themselves.
As you approach hour 22, the experience of fasting begins to defy everything you were told it would feel like. You might expect, by this point, a thick cognitive fog, confusion, difficulty stringing thoughts together. What many people actually report is the opposite, a crystalline mental clarity, a heightened focus, an almost eerie sense of perceptual sharpness that feels completely at odds with the idea that your brain is being starved. It is not a coincidence. It is not a placebo. It is a specific, measurable neurochemical response with a name, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. BDNF is one of the most important proteins in your brain. It acts as a growth signal for neurons, stimulating the creation of new nerve cells and strengthening the synaptic connections between existing ones. High levels of BDNF are associated with better memory, faster learning, greater resilience to depression, and a lower risk of age-related cognitive decline. Low levels are associated with the opposite. And one of the most reliable triggers for BDNF release that researchers have identified is caloric restriction, specifically the kind of extended fasting you are now approaching the end of. From an evolutionary standpoint, this makes almost too much sense. If you were a human living 50,000 years ago and you hadn't caught or found food in nearly a day, the absolute worst thing your body could allow was for your brain to become slower and less resourceful. The moment you needed your mind most was the moment food was hardest to find. So your biology evolved a mechanism that does exactly the counterintuitive thing. It sharpens your mind precisely when your stomach is empty. By hour 22, your brain is also running almost entirely on those clean-burning ketones we discussed hours earlier. Unlike glucose, which produces energy in sharp spikes followed by inevitable crashes, ketones provide a remarkably smooth and sustained fuel stream. There are no peaks, there are no valleys, just a steady, even output of cellular energy that your neurons are thriving on. The mental clarity you feel is not a mystery. It is the direct experiential result of your brain running on a fuel it was always designed to use, when it simply never gets access to when you are eating every few hours.
You are now less than 2 hours from the 24-hour mark. You have done something most people in the modern world never do. You have given your body the silence it has been waiting for. And in that silence, it has been anything but idle. In the final hours, every system that began shifting, optimizing, and rebuilding during this fast is operating at full capacity. Your insulin is at its lowest and most stable point. Your fat-burning engines are fully engaged, pulling energy from reserves that may have been untouched for years. Your cells are mid-renovation, dismantling damaged components and rebuilding themselves from the inside out. Your growth hormone is standing guard over your lean tissue, ensuring that not 1 gram of muscle is sacrificed in pursuit of fuel. Your nervous system is primed, alert, and operating with a focus that feels almost unfamiliar in its clarity. Your brain is bathed in neurotrophic factors, quietly laying the groundwork for stronger neural architecture. And somewhere in the deep cellular machinery of your body, a process that evolution spent millions of years perfecting is doing something that no drug, no supplement, and no superfood has ever been able to replicate. It is cleaning the engine from the inside. You reach the 24-hour mark, 1 full rotation of the Earth, 1 day. And in that single day, without eating a single calorie, your body has accomplished something that years of conventional eating would never have allowed. It has lowered your baseline insulin and giving your cells a chance to become sensitive to it again. It has unlocked your fat reserves and demonstrated that your body knows exactly how to access and use them. It has triggered a cellular cleaning process that is your most potent biological defense against aging and chronic disease. It has preserved and protected your muscle tissue through a surge of growth hormone that most people never experience at this magnitude. It has elevated your mental performance through neurochemical mechanisms that your ancestors depended on for survival. And it has given you, perhaps for the first time, a visceral understanding of something that most people never discover. You are far more resilient than you have been taught to believe. But the fast ends the same way it began, with intention.
How you break your fast matters more than most people realize. Your body is now a high-precision instrument. Your insulin is at baseline. Your digestive system has been in a deep state of rest. Your gut lining is sensitive. Your enzyme production is running at a low hum. To rush back into processed foods, refined sugars, and heavy saturated fats at this moment would be like pouring sand into a freshly serviced engine. The biology that worked so hard to clean itself up can be undone quickly if the first meal is a nutritional assault. The wisest way to break a 24-hour fast is to begin small and build slowly. A small amount of easily digestible protein, a little healthy fat, some fiber from vegetables or low-sugar fruit. Let your insulin wake up gradually. Give your gut the time to transition from rest to activity without flooding it. The goal is not to reward yourself for fasting with the foods that made fasting necessary in the first place. The goal is to honor the work your body just did by feeding it in a way that continues what it started. Because this is the truth that gets lost in the noise of modern diet culture. Fasting is not a punishment. It is not a desperate measure taken by people who have failed at other approaches. It is the oldest biological rhythm in the human story. Older than agriculture, older than cooking, older than civilization itself. For the vast majority of human history, going without food for stretches of 12, 16, 24 hours was not a choice. It was simply life. And during those stretches, the human body did not suffer. It thrived. It cleaned itself. It sharpened itself. It rebuilt itself. It optimized itself for the world it lived in. The suffering came later, when food became available around the clock, when the ancient rhythms of feeding and fasting were replaced by a constant stream of caloric noise, when the cleaning crew was never allowed to work because the factory never closed. You have given your body 1 day of the silence it was built for, and in return, it has given you back something that no meal could ever provide, a glimpse of what you are capable of when you stop getting in your own way. That is not deprivation. That is ancient wisdom, written in the language of your own DNA, finally getting a chance to speak.